Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome to Vivid Collectibles. My name is Danny, and tonight I want to welcome you into watching my review of the XM Studios Gladiator Hulk. Man, I've had this thing for a long time, and I've been meaning to do a review. He's so heavy, it's so big, and there's so many moving parts that it's like, man, it's a chore to get him on that table. But I wanted to do a review and sort of a comparison to Sideshow's Gladiator Hulk. They're very different pieces, even though it's the same thematic statue. They're just completely differently sculpted. They have a different feel to them. One is bigger than the other. But they're both really great in my opinion. But one day I'm going to have to, for space reasons, get rid of one of them. And I got to figure out which one that is. But for me, this is a really big, heavy piece, which is what a Hulk is. Hulk is massive, right? I don't know who sculpted this. This was done by XM some years ago. And it's kind of underwhelming in pictures. You know, you look at it and he's a little bit, for me, I always thought he was too hunched over. It hides too many of the details. Maybe the muscles are a little muddy, but this was traditionally sculpted by Aaron Ray Perez. That part I remember. Where Sideshow's was sculpted by Daniel Bell, and that one was done digitally. It's behind it. But anyways, let me get into this review and I'll give you my thoughts on this. I'll show you the switch out parts, because this is not only a Gladiator Hulk, it's also a Planet Hulk, which is actually the title of the statue. It is Planet Hulk, and I'll show you that switch out in a moment. For now, let me get into this review. Alright, so as usual, we're going to start in the base / sub base. So this has something like a nice rocky sub base. It's almost like, if you pictured what an asteroid would look like, they almost look like space rocks, which I guess that makes sense because Planet Hulk takes place in space. But they look like real rocks. They're textured beautifully. They're painted amazingly. And they're not just like browns and grays. They got a lot of different variations and different shades of these colors. So it looks very, very good. But again, you know, your rocks that you've seen before. Now these things are, you know, this is an action pose. So these are presumably in the air because they're being broken off, right? And overall, it looks very nicely done. Really not much to complain about. For a statue so big, the footprint isn't quite that bad. The base itself doesn't take up a ton of room. He's just very heavy. So anyways, let's continue to move up. And on the base, he has this nicely painted, cut off tentacle from that creature that he fights in Planet Hulk. It's the creature right there. And this is painted really well. It's got beautiful textures and really nice paintwork. It looks weathered. It looks, you know, it's shaded differently in different areas. And then you have these almost like claw-like spikes that are out of it, and they look very good. They almost have like that nail finish, right? So this goes on the base. It looks really good. I love the way they did the insides. It looks like real meat. Look at the blood. I mean, it's very dark, like red blood. Looks absolutely outstanding. More like purple, really. And then the back of the tentacle, here you see the end. It's very sharp. You have the cuts. He's been in battle with Hulk, and clearly he's losing. But look at the textures and the paintwork on this. The paintwork on this is absolutely outstanding. It's typical XM, right? They just do a great job with paintwork. They're the best at it. All right, so here we go. Now let's look at the main man himself. Look at the nails. They're like they're blacked out with white tips. They look very nice, very real. And then the weathering and the wrinkles on the toes, they look good as well. You have that leather sandal that he has in Gladiator. The buckles are nice, the worn leather, nice separation. It looks really good. And then obviously you have the treads in the bottom. And obviously Hulk's leg, you see all the vein work and all the muscles. He's obviously a big monster. And you can see more of that great vein work throughout. And a lot of muscle definition. And your knee, you have the wrinkles on the knee, that looks good. Let's go to this side. Again, a lot of shading, a little bit heavy on the shading, but it looks good. And some of that great vein work throughout, more of that wrinkles on the skin. Same great leather work on these sandals. Great feet, again. Really nicely sculpted and painted. Big, like 8-pack. Obviously, he's Hulk, he's a monster. Look at the nice folds and wrinkles right there. And then the belt in the middle, right there with the leather. It's flowing, it's mid-fight. That looks really good. I like all of the different separations of materials. Little pins on it, if you will. They look really good. Let's go behind this guy. He's just so big. And this is meant to look like a loincloth. It looks more like plaster of Paris to me. I don't think they did that quite that well. It looks like dried out plaster of Paris, excuse me. And then he's traditional purple shorts underneath. Nicely textured, looks really good. It looks way out faded and weathered. Here's the back of what looks to be basically a back support belt. It's not, obviously, but look at all of the nice work on here. Beautiful. Right there, the leather, it's flowing. Nice worn leather belt, looks great. Same thing here, right? Pants. And then the back of him, you know, he's stretching, he's muscular. You can see right there, the spine, that looks really good. You know, he's got a deep spine, big muscles, bulging. Again, some of that leather work. I think the leather work looks a little sloppy. That's one of the differences between this one and Sideshow's. The separation on the leather work is better, and the details on the Sideshow one. This one is a little sloppy, you know, throughout, which is not really that big of a deal because there's so much here to like. And then his elbows, look at the wrinkles behind the elbow, that looks amazing. Look at the veins, again, more of that muscle definition. Now, I think there's too much going on with the muscles. It's hard to see any real definition, but that's what they went for. And then the gauntlets look great, the leather wrapping around it, the spikes on it as well. And then these humongous fists, right? You know, great separation there, nice work on the nails. Just a beautiful statue. Again, great shoulder paint work, shadowing for definition. This little contraption, you know, you just place there. I think they got lazy. It doesn't look great. There's nothing to tell you it's in him. It's just kind of just put there, so I thought that was a bit of a miss. And then you have, again, just great definition. All right, we're going to go to a huge part of this piece. So this is the shield setup. This comes with an axe, another sword that doesn't have the monster in the back, and obviously the shield. The shield's got details for days. I mean, it's unbelievable. Look at the steel part, looks great. You can see he's been in a battle. And then the wood looks like genuine wood. Again, it's all nicked up. Great work, great paint on that. The spikes on the front of the shield, the nice gold bronze separation. Everything looks really good. It's an impressive shield. Great design on the shield. It's pretty big. People complain that it's not big enough. Trust me, it's plenty big enough. Maybe it ain't perfect to scale, but I can't display him with this, and I really don't, because it covers so much of him otherwise, right? And then you see his left arm, there are two switch out arms. I'll show you that. The same great metal work, paint work, battle damage, the spikes on the shoulder. I mean, everything's done really, really, really well. And then we're gonna go to the right hand. He's got this sword, which is nice and nicked up. It looks good. It actually looks kind of dull, the sword itself. I'm not sure if they were going for that, but it looks kind of dull. And then obviously he's got a tentacle that he just finished cutting off, and it wasn't a clean cut, so you can see the tear. But it looks freaking amazing. And then you have the back, right, the handle on the sword. Like I said, there is a switch out sword. I'm going to be switching those out in a little bit. And here's his gladiator portrait. And the portrait's very, very good. The eyes are done very well. For some reason, they always do Hulk small. Sideshow does the same thing, or maybe that is his eyes. But his facial expression is there. The teeth are friggin' amazing. The lips are like a green, which I guess makes sense. But the facial expression, the wrinkles, the nose, everything is there. It looks very, very good. The Gladiator helmet looks amazing. Very nicely painted and sculpted. Great battle damage throughout. And then the top, the little mohawk on top of that, looks good. Painted very well. It looks different than Sideshow's. This is Sideshow's right there. So they're little different takes on them. But it looks good. I like this statue quite a bit. I'm going to do some switch outs. I'm going to give you a look at what it looks like with the different portrait and the different sword. Okay, so here's the switch out. Now he's Planet Hulk, or King Hulk rather, and he's got this massive axe which looks freaking amazing too. Look at the details on that. You can see that it's lighter gray here to show you that it's sharp. It's all nicked up. It's battle worn, right? It's a huge battle axe. Double edge. Nice designs on it. I mean, the weathering and paintwork on this and sculpt is great. Leather wrap. And then the handle with a little spiky bottom. Looks amazing. And then the King Hulk, all it is basically he's got a tiara on his head. And you can see a little bit of his hair, which is really nicely sculpted and painted. Has hints of green on it as well. So this is the switch out I like, and then obviously the left arm's completely different. So it's a silver rather than that metal finish that the other one is that I put there. So this one I like quite a bit. I like this setup for me because it differentiates it from Sideshow's. Otherwise I have the same setup twice and it just drives me nuts. It drives my kids nuts more than me. But there's the portrait. It's a great statue. Not one without its flaws. I think maybe they overdid it a little bit with the muscle definition. It is a little squatty, which still kind of bothers me. But overall, you're getting a masterfully painted and sculpted, traditionally sculpted Hulk. He's just very big and heavy. So finding the right place for him is a bit of a challenge. So now I'm going to just do a little bit of a comparison while I have him here with Sideshow. So if you look at Sideshow's, right, it's a much leaner, cleaner looking Hulk with it's digitally sculpted, so it's not as messy. The sculpt is cleaner and it looks believable. The detail, looks even better because it's like a darker. So yeah, it's not as bright a green. So they went for more realism, where this is more comic. And the nails are better on this because they have different variations of colors, right? And the muscles look more believable for a Hulk. But then the leather, the separation of the leather is better. The definition on that is better. And even this piece, where they put it, you can see it's red, right? The portrait looks, in my opinion, just as good, maybe better, but the teeth are not, they're missing the gloss that XM does so well. But the eyes are good, just as good, if not better. And the helmet looks good. Maybe more detail on XM's there a little bit. But as far as the armor goes, it's just about the same, right? The weapons are much better on the XM. The Sideshow pose, I think, is better, especially if you view this piece from this angle, where you can see he's lunging. It's not an underwhelming pose. Where I think the squattiness of this one is a little bit underwhelming. Again, superior paint. I think the sculpt on the Sideshow one is better. The details are about the same. I think the paint separates it. The creature is better by far on XM's, but it works better on a Sideshow because it's part of the base and you can see the whole creature. I hate the seams on the Sideshow piece, but I like the overall flow of the Sideshow piece a little better, and it's friendlier as far as moving. They're both shipped in 2 boxes, so they're both massive pieces that take up some real estate. But the Sideshow was a little more displayable for me because I'm out of space, where this one, I gotta for now put him low, and this setup right there, he goes in between those by these 2 guys. So for now, it is what it is. I like it. I don't love it. I can't say that I love it, but I love Hulk, so I have 3 of them. Anyways, thank you for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Till next time.